It is just devastating news, developing news out of Oklahoma. Rescuers say they will search all night for survivors after a monstrous tornado more than a half-mile wide flattened entire city blocks.
Here now, the latest. Officials say their worst fears becoming realized. At least 51 people are dead tonight. The number is expected to climb. An elementary school, a high school, and a hospital each took a direct hit. And rescuers fear that dozens of people are still buried in the rubble. There are reports that winds in that killer tornado reached 200 miles per hour. Our chief meteorologist, Steve LaPointe, is joining us now. Steve, one sheriff there says that it's the worst damage he's ever seen.
And, Dory, that is an incredible statement since Moore, Oklahoma was struck by a devastating EF5 tornado on May 3rd, 1999. Obviously, the scope of this tornado disaster is now just becoming clear as this storm developed at about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Obviously a deadly system, with the search and rescue operations expected to continue well into the night and likely into the day tomorrow. We're joined momentarily by our meteorologist, Chris Gloninger, has much more on that. And Chris, we understand, unfortunately, that many of the victims are children.
Steve, that's right. School was still in session before summer break, and the tornado tore through town when kids were still in the classroom.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I don't know if people lived in that one. I honestly do not know if people lived in that.
This wider view shows the devastation. This is Moore, Oklahoma, as we listen in to a local helicopter reporter.
You're going to see May 3rd, 1999 again in here in just a minute as we pan. Look at this debris field. Keep going, Rich. Keep going. Look how wide it gets. Look at that path. Look how wide that is.
The third twister to hit Moore in 15 years. This tornado touched down just before 3 p.m. Central Time on the ground for 40 minutes, covering 20 miles. First responders say their mission at Moore Elementary School has switched from a search and rescue to recovery.
Just like on the movie Twister, there's horses and stuff flying everywhere.
You can see this man covered in mud, lucky to be alive.
Sadly, they found a man and then a woman and a small baby.
This tornado chaser fighting back tears after stopping to help.
Everyone needed help. We came in and we pulled up over here, and everyone was already at the 7-Eleven trying to pull cooler doors off and everything, and they got a record truck in.
Obviously, those scenes are very difficult to watch. Now, that death toll is likely to climb, Steve, as those search and rescue missions keep going. But the warning time and the meteorologists there were amazing through it all.
That and the local media. In fact, the National Weather Service issued this tornado warning 16 minutes before the tornado had even formed, which is really spectacular. Moore had about a 40-minute lead time before that storm moved into the city. Unfortunately, when you take a storm of this magnitude, estimated to have been a quarter to a half a mile wide, the debris field extended out over 2 miles, and you slam it into such a densely populated area where houses may not have storm shelters, these types of storms can be unsurvivable, which is why we're seeing the death toll that we're seeing, because it slammed into such a populated area, Chris.
Now, see, if you're looking at this video, and you can see houses reduced to just slabs. Now, those would take winds of about 200 miles per hour. A preliminary report puts it at an EF4. Now, they're going to be researching this storm and surveying the damage during the day tomorrow. It could become an EF5. And again, obviously, a half a mile wide storm that had a whole lot of damage.
Yeah, absolutely. And to put that in perspective, only about 1% of all tornadoes that occur in a season are of the EF4, EF5 category. And of course, to have one of those 1% hit such a populated area is definitely a tragic situation. To put it into more perspective, debris was actually falling over the city of Tulsa, and we may see debris for 100 to 150 miles. So a story that will continue to develop. Will, of course, continue to keep you advised. Right now, we'll send it back to Greg and Dory.